There we go. What is up, everybody? My name is Harry Rice. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Today we had a bit of major Habs news. We had a little bit of news yesterday, or a little bit of rumors, I should say, and then today we had some news. We had something dropping earlier that I'll talk about later because it's not nearly as massive as this. Brendan Gallagher has re-signed with the Montreal Canadiens. Yesterday, it was reported that contract negotiations had stalled. And that Brendan Gallagher was perhaps pissed at the Canadiens. But as just confirmed, Brendan Gallagher has indeed been re-signed by the Montreal Canadiens. Marc Bergevin, I don't know if he looked at our cap space next year and realized, oh shit, yeah, we can re-sign Gally for sure, give him what he wants. Or if Gally even took a bit more of a pay cut than, because he also took a pay cut with his current deal. But the contract is 6 years. So Brendan Gallagher is pretty much going to retire as a Montreal Canadian. That's almost a guarantee. It's a 6-year contract worth $6.5 million per year. And for what Brendan Gallagher brings to the Montreal Canadiens, that is a massive, massive underpayment in my opinion. Brendan Gallagher is one of those guys that you need on your team. Every team needs a guy like Gallagher on the team who can score mostly garbage goals, but he can get involved physically. He brings that emotion to the Canadiens. It seems whenever Gally's having an off night, the Canadiens are having an off night. I don't think that'll be the case now that we have a ton of depth, but we'll find out. Boo, Gally needs a Ray, bro. I think McDavid needs a new home. I don't think he's working out too well in Edmonton. Exactly, Habs hockey. We got Gally. We got Gally. I love the deal as well. Craig Noah, for sure. It's a very reasonable cap hit in term. Gally took a hometown discount just like he took last time when he took $3 million. I think he wanted $5 or $6 million, if I remember correctly. And even this time, he took a hometown discount. I think he could have gotten $7 or $8 million on the market. So I think Gally definitely took a pay cut of taking $6.5 million. McDavid, exactly. McDavid had a bad playoffs. He needs to get traded from Edmonton. Yeah, Gally won't retire at 34, but keep in mind, by the time he is 34, which is when the contract expires, because it doesn't kick in this season. He has 1 year left. It kicks in next season, for those of you who are curious. But exactly, like he won't retire at 34, but he'll be close. I think he'll have 1 or 2 years left at him. And it's not guaranteed he won't retire at 34. Plenty of guys have retired young, so you never know. So he could have maybe 2 or 3 more years in him. At that point, I don't think he will. But if he does, then definitely I think Gally is 100% going to retire as a Montreal Canadian. Yeah, oh yeah, retire. It starts next season. Yeah, so he'll be 35. So yeah, then at 35 could have a bit of a could probably retire at 35. I could see it happening, but yeah. Habs Gaming 97, I agree. Habs Gally is the heart and soul of Montreal. You get rid of Gallagher, that's the biggest mistake you're ever going to make. Like you can trade Price and Weber all you want as long as you don't trade Brendan Gallagher or lose Brendan Gallagher. Brendan Gallagher is fantastic, and when he retires, whenever that is, it's going to be a sad day for Montreal Canadiens, definitely. Yeah, people said Price is going to be taken by Seattle. I can't see it. And that's actually the other signing we're going to get to in a little bit, as long as my Wi-Fi doesn't crap out on me. So I do want to talk about the Brendan Gallagher signing for just a moment. So yeah, it's like I said, it's a 6-year extension, which is until the end of the 2026-2027 season. So we have Brendan Gallagher for 7 more years. It's an average annual value of $6.5 million per year. There's likely more going Gally's way and bonuses and all that. Gallagher last year in 59 games, because he was out for, I want to say 4 or 5. No, he was out for like 10 games, I think, actually. So he had 43 points, 22 goals, and additionally with 21 assists. So yeah, for 43 points, that is really solid. He tied, not the league, Jesus. He tied the team in goals, number 1 for goals with Tatar, I believe. What signing? The Jake Allen signing. Yeah, exactly, Alexis Dubois. Dubec. Yep, Jake Allen did resign in Montreal. Exactly. We have Brendan Gallagher for pretty much his whole career at this point. Not that he didn't earn it. Austin Allen, I can definitely see what you mean. I can definitely see what you mean, Austin Allen. I personally really like the average annual value, 6.5 million. 6.5 million. I personally really like it. But yeah, I can definitely see why you wouldn't, because he'll be 35 making $6.5 million. I can see why. And I definitely do think this contract is going to bite the Habs by the end of by the end of his contract. But I do think it will still be worth it for at least the first 3 to 4 years, I think. I can't see Brendan Gallagher really slowing down until he's 32, 33, in my opinion. Hi, Harry. I thought Gallagher was on the Canucks. No, Isles fan. Gallagher has been a lifelong Canadian, and it appears he will be a lifelong Canadian. I don't know if there's a no trade clause, no movement clause attached with this. I just saw the trade. I just saw the signing went down, and I was like, all right, I got to get on. So, yeah. Jake Allen, I think it's a 2-year, $2.875 million contract. Bro, we could have got rid of Jake Allen. Well, keep in mind, Habs Absolute Hockey. You're not thinking. Keep in mind, guys, what's coming after this season? Can someone in the chat, please, can someone be a super sleuth and let me know what is coming after this season? What is coming after this season? Yeah, Isles fan, something, yeah, exactly, Habs Absolutely Hockey. And what's something that every team has to do? They have to protect a goalie, obviously, and every team must leave at least one goalie exposed. Jake Allen is that goalie Montreal is going to leave exposed, because notice how Price has a no trade clause or no movement clause. It's one of the two. I think it's a no movement clause. Jake Allen is the guy we're going to leave exposed. We don't need to leave Caden Primo exposed because he hasn't played enough games. Michael McNevin, no one's going to take him. Charlie Lindgren, Seattle's not going to take him. Jake Allen is our target for Seattle to take, because we don't need him. I love Jake Allen. I absolutely love Jake Allen. But like you did say with Caden Primo coming up, we don't need Jake Allen past this season. The only reason we extended him was to have Jake Allen available for Seattle to take, which is what a lot of people said. Is Montreal easily? Montreal's going to protect Price. Why would we sign Allen, who isn't really that great of a starter? He's a much amazing backup. Why would we protect Allen to make him the starter and let go of Price? It doesn't make sense. John from Hot Take Hockey. Let's go. Can we get some Hot Take Hockey hype in the chat? Why are we helping Seattle? We're not helping Seattle, though. That's the thing. We're helping ourselves. Because keep in mind, if we don't trade for Jake Allen, if we instead bring Caden Primo up and he plays the amount of games necessary in order to qualify for being exposed, we lose Caden Primo. We lose our future starter. Instead, we acquire Jake Allen, who's our backup right now, sign him to an extension, and in exchange, just like Seattle, hey, we got Jake Allen exposed for you. You guys want him? Exactly. Primo's going to be the backup next year because Jake Allen is going to get selected by Seattle. And if somehow he doesn't, then awesome. We let Primo develop in the minors even more, and we keep Jake Allen for at least a year, unless we decide to trade him, which he probably has a lot of value, given we did re-sign him, and he's at such a phenomenal cap hit. How's your stream not that delayed? Habs? I have absolutely no clue, honestly. Does it look good? Do I still sound as good as usual? Because you guys apparently say I sound great. Visuals aren't that great, which, believe me, you guys aren't missing out on much. But yeah, so Jake Allen, like I said, it's most likely we re-signed him to have him for this 1 year, and then he goes to Seattle, is what I'm thinking. He played 24 games with the Blues. I talked about Allen in my us trading for Allen video, so you guys can go watch that. You're interested? Yeah, BHL seems interesting. I'll look at it after stream. Still think it's risky with all the money being thrown right now. I really thought, hot take. I thought Bergevin was gonna go for a Hall or a Pietrangelo as well. But you know what? I'm glad he didn't. Honestly, because Hall is a locker room cancer. We wouldn't have liked him in Montreal anyways. I personally wouldn't have liked him in Montreal. I would have cheered for him. I would have been supportive of him as a Hab, but I wouldn't have liked him. There's a difference with that. But I did think Bergevin could have gone for a star, but I think he is trying to build his own stars. Exactly, hot take. I think he has the full expectations that Suzuki is going to be a top tier number one center. And I honestly think that too. I think he definitely has a very, very high ceiling. I think coming after this season, it's going to be Suzuki, Kotkaniemi, maybe Poehling, because I think we're going to give that fourth center spot to Poehling over Evans. I think Evans will still get some games, but I do think we are going to try Poehling out on the fourth line this year. But then next year, hopefully transition him into the third line center, and then maybe run with Evans as the fourth line center, unless someone comes along, we end up signing someone, trading for someone, or one of the guys in the minors ends up showing himself and is like, hey, give him a chance instead, So, yeah, exactly, Habs. I agree. Suzuki, I think, should realistically be the number one center. Kotkaniemi should realistically be the second line center after this season. This upcoming season, I can see us keeping together the Tatar, Danault, Gallagher line. I definitely think that's going to I think that line's going to be for sure the first line. As for the second and third line, take your pick. Whether you want the Suzuki or Kotkaniemi line as your second line, take your pick. You're solid either way. I think this is the Habs' first year that we're like true possible playoff contenders since probably 2014. Technically, you could say 2017 because we had the 40-win season. Because, we had the 40-win season because, hey, we had 40 wins and then we lost to the Rangers because whenever the Montreal Canadiens make the playoffs, it usually seems when we're good contenders, we always run into the Rangers, and then Emelin trips up Kreider. I'm not going to have an aneurysm on stream, Jesus. Who do you think is more likely to sign long-term, Danault or Tatar? I feel Tatar personally, John. I think Tatar is likely going to be re-signed long-term because I do think we need that number one left winger for now. And Tatar, well, not ideally, he is more ideally a second-line center. He has shown he can definitely play that first-line left wing very, very well. And so I think we are going to re-sign him long-term because thinking about it, if Tatar or if Danault re-signs, if we re-sign Danault, then that means he's the third-line center for Suzuki and Kotkaniemi. And Danault is going to want way too much money to be a third-line center unless we hold back Suzuki and Kotkaniemi from reaching their full potential and keep Danault as the number one center when he is most likely suited as a second or third. I could understand maybe Suzuki, Danault, Kotkaniemi, but Kotkaniemi is still young and he has a lot to show. And I think this year he's going to take a big step into potentially taking that second-line center spot away from what would have been to Danault's next year. But I do think Tatar is likely. I think what they're going to do is they're going to re-sign Tatar, and I honestly think, hot take, we trade Danault during the season. I think we trade Danault during the season. Maybe at the trade deadline, you get something, you get some type of first-round pick and a prospect for him. You get the most value you absolutely can out of Philip Danault. If he's performing at say somehow 55 points in 38 games, which is incredibly unrealistic for Danault, but let's just say he somehow hits that. That is the moment to trade him because you can get so much out of Philip Danault for that rental. Like, even if we're a contender, you trade it personally. I think you trade Philip Danault even if he has that many points. Or neither. Yeah, I could definitely see Bergevin instead deciding to let go of two-thirds of our first line. I could definitely see that personally. I could see that we let both of them go, honestly, because we have the assets to replace them. I knew Galley wasn't going anywhere. Hey, Rich J, let's go. How's it going, brother? Yeah, exactly. Tatar should be long-term, I think. Suzuki and Kotkaniemi. Right now, I don't know if they're better than Danault, Habs, but I do think that in a few years, they're definitely going to be better than Danault. I don't know about in terms of being defensively minded. I do think so. I think Kotkaniemi definitely has that in him to be a great two-way forward who can not necessarily throw the body around, but he can play great defensively and put up points. Suzuki, I think, is going to be that number one, maybe point per game, hopefully point per game centerman that you put out there when it's like, all right, boom, I didn't like the Caden Gooley. I liked Caden Gooley. It's almost like we kind of knew Jan Misek was going to fall to the first round or to the second round. So I personally like that. I personally like the Caden Gooley pickup because keep in mind, like I said, Sherratt isn't going to be around forever. Edmondson's not going to be around forever. You need those left wingers. You're not going to get that. You need a left defenseman who can take over for Sherratt and Edmondson when they're done. And I think Gooley is going to be a good top four potential defenseman. I think he has that potential. And I like Caden Gooley. What if they can get to know for like a Pajot comparable deal, 5.5 per or 5 per? I don't know, John. I mean, I'd like that. It depends on how the cap is, because if the cap next year is still flat 81.5 million, I don't know if I want to take that because Kotkaniemi's coming off his ELC, and yeah, he's not going to want too much, maybe $4 million or so, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely would like to know at 5.5 per. That's a steal for how great of a defensively minded centerman he is. But it's just it's risky because you hold back either Suzuki or Kotkaniemi from being what they fully are, and you don't want to put either Suzuki or Kotkaniemi as a young, very promising forward on the third line. Maybe Kotkaniemi, maybe you keep Kotkaniemi there just to like let him like really fully develop, and then say in the last year or two of Danault's contract, if we re-sign him, then slowly phase Danault out and put Kotkaniemi on the second line. It depends on how long the term is for John. If it's for like say 2 or 3 years, then yeah, I think we could go for that. But if it's for like 5 or 6, like what Galley just got or what Josh Anderson got, I don't think I want to resign Danault for that long. I think 2-3 years personally. Logan Hacker, I'm going to answer yours because I just saw it real quick. It's a quick question to answer. Suzuki has 2 more years left on his ELC this year and then next season. Kotkaniemi's playing dirty. I could see why people thought the boarding call was dirty. I think it was a little too close to call whether it was dirty or not. Aside from that, Kotkaniemi wasn't really playing dirty in the Flyers series. Thank you, John. I agree. Habs did win big by getting Luke Tuck. I finally remembered his name. Luke Tuck and Jan Misek or Tuck Misek. They knew what they were doing. I swear. They knew what they were doing when they picked them in that order. I swear they knew. But yeah, I think Luke Tuck is going to be a nice solid grinder for the Canadiens. Misek, I'm really high on. I absolutely love Misek. I think he's going to be a fantastic player for the Canadiens. And once again, Marc Bergevin showing he is amazing at drafting. Exactly. Yeah, Hobbs, I agree. John, congrats on the Brody sign. I think he's going to be pretty solid for you guys. I think he'll be pretty good. I hope Suzuki gets signed long term and Kotkaniemi as well. I think they will. I would rather give away Danault early so we can get. I see where you're coming from, Habs. I do agree for the most part, but it all depends on if one of them somehow stunts for a few years. You know, if Kotkaniemi stunts very slightly, which I really hope he doesn't, but if somehow he did, because if Kotkaniemi stunts, for example, you'll want him playing those third, fourth line minutes where it's like, all right, no worries, we can get you going. Whereas opposed to, all right, Kotkaniemi, you step it up this game. You're on the second line, step it up. Like obviously you can have like, Paling or Evans or whoever going second line and doing their business for Kotkaniemi. But I do think maybe, like I said, it all depends on the term. If it's 7 years, then absolutely I don't want Danault back. Even though I understand him wanting to have a long-term home in Montreal, and I can't fault him for that. Montreal is probably the greatest hockey city in the world. Sorry, Toronto. Ignore the verbiage there. Just please do that. But if it's for like a 2-3 year deal, then yeah, I would absolutely love to get Danault back on the team. Don't agree with the 6-year contract. I can agree. I can see where you're coming from, Boomerang. I personally really like it, even though Galley is going to be 35 when the contract expires. Keep in mind at that point the cap's going to start going up, so. Yeah, sure. He was less than 0.5. Sure. He was less than 0.5 points per game in the playoffs. I think he had 4 points in 11 games, if I remember correctly. But still, points aren't all. Galley played fantastic, and Boomerang. That's the thing. You can't just look at Gallagher's points in the playoffs. You have to look at how he was playing. He was really good. He was fantastic. Habs, I'm gonna delete that comment because oh my god, that is ignorant. I'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, Boomerang. Gallagher was getting a lot of shots. He just was not able to score. Gallagher just could not score in the playoffs. He was really, really good. He was shooting a lot. He just couldn't score. Galley just could not score. He was playing really well. Like I said, he was just really snake bitten. He could not get he just couldn't get goals. People said Luke Tuck is. I do see people thinking Luke Tuck isn't going to be like fantastic, but I don't see people thinking he's going to be bad. I see people saying he's going to be a solid bottom sixer in the NHL, decent grinder. Jan Misek, I could see maybe middle six, maybe top six if he can really get going. But I think Jan Misek's probably a good, nice middle six guy. I think they picked Luke Tuck first because they wanted people to think they were. I think you mean they weren't going to get Jan Misek. I actually thought about that as well. When I saw we got Luke Tuck. I was like, no, Habs, please go with Misek. Please pick Misek next. If you don't, you're going to regret it. And then we got Misek, and I was like, yes! I was so happy. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Have I been rambling for 20 minutes? Because my thing at the bottom, it's not green, so it's not telling me that I'm speaking. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. That'd be great. But yeah, Luke Tuck, I did see that he is brothers with Alex Tuck. All right, thank you guys. So it's just one of those times where YouTube's glitching out on me and I can't see that it's showing me that I'm speaking. All right, awesome. But yeah, so Brendan Gallagher, the signing, I'm a really big fan of it. I really, really like the Gallagher signing. Allen, even if we do only have him for this year, I really like it. And if somehow Seattle doesn't pick Jake Allen, then I think it's still a really, really good contract either way. Because, I mean, come on. You get a really solid backup goaltender for $2 million. That's pretty good. Danault, exactly. Danault can be a good player like Krejci. I like Danault because he's a defensively minded player. I really, really like Danault for his defensive mind. He can put points up too, but he's a really solid defensive forward, and I think he should get more nominees for the Frank J. Selke more often. Boom. Thanks for nothing, Toronto. Goalie Girls rule. Welcome to the stream. Thank you, and I agree. I agree with that. The Toronto media really blew this way out of proportion. Like, this happens all the time with other teams where it's like, beginning of the year, some teams sit down, talk extension, like, nah, I think I'm worth this, blah, blah, blah. Ends up going apart for a while, and then the teams come back, and it's like, you know what, yeah, let's agree on this, let's agree on this. Jan Misek, I think he's Czech. I don't remember, though. But yeah, Habs, absolutely hockey. I deleted your comment. Danault's not even good. Yes, he is. He is one of the best defensively minded players in the NHL. So, yeah. And now, guys, real quick, I did want to talk about the Habs' possible lineups for the end of the year or the start of this season. Yeah, I thought about it, and I was wondering, because the Canadiens have $0 in cap space, and we're re-signing Ilya Kovalchuk eventually. I honestly think we're trying to get cap right now to personally, I think I personally think that we're trying to trade someone like Byron or Wheel. Unfortunately, a Kulak. I really like Kulak, but I think we're trying to trade one of these guys just to kind of make sure, like, hey, yeah, we need cap if we're going to bring him back Kovalchuk for a year or two. And it sucks. I mean, I would definitely rather Kovalchuk over Byron, but I don't think anyone's going to take Byron, and we obviously can't buy him out. But you never know. Our cap is bad. Our cap is bad for now, but keep in mind, Habs, it's very misleading. Goalie Girls, you think Danault's going to get re-signed? Interesting. Keep in mind, the cap space we have, the cap space that is non-existent, is kind of a lie. Because first off, we have $383,000 in cap space. But keep in mind, Jordan Wheel likely isn't playing in the NHL next year, so he gets cleared. If we can trade Byron or send him down, which I'd rather send him down instead of losing him, that's some cap space cleared. Kulak, if you just send him down to the minors, for example, that's cleared. Or what I think they're likely going to do, maybe send Mete down and let Kulak play and then just move Romanov to the right wing or to the right defense. No, why would we buy out Byron? I hate Byron. I don't like Byron at all. Or Drouin. I don't like Drouin at all. But he's a decent third, fourth line guy. Like, yeah, for his cap space, he's absolutely awful. But it's not that bad. Like, Jesus. When the game is rough in playoffs, he is all time on his ass. What do you mean? He does have a big heart. He's a big physical guy. Or not big. He's a small guy that's really aggressive. I absolutely love Brendan Gallagher, and that's one reason I love this signing, because Brendan Gallagher is a Hab for life. Tatar walks next season. I don't know about that, Goalie Girls. I actually think it's the opposite way. I think we sign Tatar and let Danault walk, but we could maybe sign both. It all depends. Hey, Nikki German, let's go Rangers fan. Welcome back to the stream. Let's go. Welcome back to the stream. So yeah, guys, now that I'm done talking about the Gallagher trade, unless you guys do have any comments or questions about it, I want to talk Habs' potential lineups. So I think we can all pretty much confirm Tatar, Danault, and Gallagher is going to be the first line next year. That realistically should be the first offensive line. Second line is where it gets interesting because I'm looking on Cap Friendly, and Kotkaniemi can play the left wing. So I don't know if you maybe want to do something where, but then you're left with having to play Jordan Wheel. But that's the thing that I find interesting. Do you perhaps want to play? Do you guys play Kotkaniemi on the left wing, try him out there, or do you play him third line center? Still have 14.5 exactly, goalie girls. We still have 14.5 in cap space next year. But looking at it, Tatar's going to need to be re-signed. The pending free agents for next year, I'm going to answer this real quick, are Tomas Tatar, Philippe Danault, Joel Armia, Arturi Lehkonen, Jordan Wheel, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Victor Mete is going to be an RFA again, Ryan Poehling. And in the minors, there's not really anyone else. Well, Otto Leskinen, Cale Fleury, Gustav Olofsson, Noah Juleson is going to be a UFA again, or an RFA again, sorry. And then Charlie Lindgren, and then the Vasily Demchenko guy that we signed from the minors, or from Europe. They're going to be all free agents. And yeah, some of them, okay, yeah, sure, they're minors and whatever, boom. But you see, that's the thing. I don't know who he re-signed. I might have to do a video on that, honestly. I might want to do a video on that eventually. I knew Allen. Wow. Yeah, Gallagher as well, Nikki. That is fantastic. Nikki, we did re-sign Brendan Gallagher. I'm really happy to hear that. Yeah, Romanoff is coming. Best of Hockey, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Any notable free agents next year besides Hall? Not that I can think of, Rich J. Not that I can think of. I don't know if there's any notable free agents besides Hall right now. There's probably going to be a few, but you never know. Yeah, Christian Folien is gone from the Canadiens. I do remember that. No way they let Danault walk, French player and younger than Tatar. Than Tartar. I mean, yeah, he's younger than Tatar, but you look at it, Tatar's 29, Danault's 27. It's only a 2-year difference, maybe even only 1 year difference between, depending on when their birthdays are. Or it could be a 3-year difference depending on when their birthdays are. It could be 1, 2, or 3, like I said, depending on birthdays, whatever. But that's the thing. You can trade Danault or Tartar, as you say, no, but Tatar. Or what you could do, oh my God, my throat is hurting. Jesus. I haven't even been going for half an hour. But you see, that's the thing. Yes, Danault is younger, but it's not like it's, Tatar's 33 and Danault's 25. Like, no, Tatar's 29, Danault's 27, you know? I feel like keeping Danault definitely would be great because he is a center and he's a fantastic player, great defensively minded forward. Tatar can deliver those points, though, for now. And unless, say, Suzuki, Kotkaniemi, Anderson, Toffoli, some of these guys can produce the amount of points Tatar produced last year, which I think was only like 50 or 60. I think it was point per game. I forget exactly. I think it was close to point per game, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to be able to. I think a lot of people are going to be able to do that. Then, yeah, we can get rid of Tatar, but that's the thing with Danault, though. Do you want to pay him $5-6 million potentially, as a Hot Take Hockey, John, who was in here earlier, was suggesting? Do you want to pay him that much money and then risk by the end of his contract he's third line center? I'm just drinking some water real quick to rehydrate and hopefully cool my throat down. We don't need exactly halves. I do agree we don't need only French players. But I can definitely see why we'd want to resign Danault over Tatar because he is younger slightly. Kate Berry, let's go. Kate Berry. Tatar, Danault, Gallagher, Drouin, Suzuki, Anderson, Lehkonen, Kotkaniemi, Toffoli, Byron, or Evans, Poehling, Armia. That is interesting for sure. And that's one thing I was noting is Toffoli can play the left wing as well. Toffoli can play the left wing. So I'm wondering, do you perhaps want to maybe stack a line of Toffoli, Suzuki, Anderson, and then maybe put Drouin with Kotkaniemi and maybe say Armia, because Armia can play the right wing. He's only a right wing. Drouin can play the left wing only. So I know Drouin and Suzuki apparently have some chemistry. But yeah, I really don't know if I I really don't know if you want to separate Drouin and Suzuki. I personally think you maybe try it, but maybe unite Suzuki and Drouin on, say, a power play unit or something like that. Exactly. Kotkaniemi, Paling, Tatar, Fleury, Juleson are a must. I don't know about Tatar, but definitely Kotkaniemi, Paling, Fleury, and Juleson. I definitely think you got to re-sign those guys for sure. I really like the upside of Cale Fleury, and even Noah Juleson, if those headaches can go away and he can like start really being good again, he has potential to make the NHL for sure. Vancouver should let go of Jordy Ben, but after this year is a UFA, so they're definitely going to want to look to that unless he wants to sign for league minimum in Vancouver and be a minor leaguer. I mean, hey, Boomerang, I can actually agree with you on that. Matthias Norlind is going to be a surprise. I really, really like the upside of this kid. I haven't seen his hands, actually, surprisingly. I rarely see this for a defenseman next Norris. Hey, Boomerang, if you think he's going to be the next Norris winner, I'd be very shocked because Matthias Norlinder, I don't know if he can win this season's Norris, but I definitely think he could be a Norris winner. Hopefully, I'd hope he'd be a Norris winner. I'd hope every Habs defenseman is a Norris winner, As a Habs fan, you want that, but I would hope that. Tatar on the wrong side of 30 to be signing. Goalie Girls Rule, Tatar is only 29. What are you talking about? Dude's only 29. He's not on the wrong side of 30. It's not like he's 35 or 36. No, dude's 29. He can sign a 3-4 year extension. Who's Matthias Norlinder? Look him up, just like Boomerang said. I will definitely do that after the stream for sure. Definitely going to want to do that. Excuse me. Yeah, Kotkaniemi, Anderson, Toffoli. And actually, Goalie Girls Rule did put that in an interesting comment. Set Toffoli up with Kotkaniemi for the game. Use Toffoli to jump around when you need a spark during the game. I do like that. You put Toffoli with Kotkaniemi on, say, the third line. And that's the thing. You don't set it, say, straight up 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, no, you kind of squish the first three lines together. Like, all right, first line, send the third, send the second. You mix the lines up. Not mix the lines up, but you send them out at varying times. So it's not like, oh, first line had 23 minutes and the second line had 8 minutes that night, That wouldn't add up, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's not super drastic. It's like, all right, first line had 19 minutes, second line ended up having 16, third line ended up having 15, So instead of having rather one first line and 3 fourth lines, we have arguably a first line, 2 second lines, and a third line, which is nuts for the Canadiens. Juleson, Lazowski, welcome back to the stream, brother. Juleson's that is disgusting, Habs. I don't want to say that. No, but God damn it. Give me a minute to recover, guys. God damn it. Matthias Norlinder, the next Lidstrom. Damn, Boomerang. You seem really high on Matthias Norlinder, and I'm happy about that, man. I hope Norlinder is the next coming of Nick Lidstrom. He'd be great on the Canadiens. Oh my God, I'm putting my hat back on. Jesus, you guys don't need to see my hair. Jesus, that's nuts. But yeah. So yeah, guys. I mean, I definitely understand why Toffoli, but that's the thing. Then you're reducing Armia to fourth line minutes. If you say, for example, put did you delete it? Did I delete what, Nikki? It was a joke. I'm not deleting anything. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely maybe see doing something where instead of having to force having to force, say, Armia onto the left side, I think maybe you could do something like Norlinder reminds me of PK, lots of turnovers. Well, Norlinder hasn't played NHL hockey yet, so you can't really look at it and say, oh, hey, yeah, he's going to be the next PK. He's going to bust after 4 great years, Norlinder, I think, is going to be pretty solid already. I love his name. It just sounds like a Norris Trophy winner. And the Norris Trophy goes to Matthias Norlinder. It sounds like a hockey name. It sounds like a pure all-star defenseman hockey name. And even if it was with, say, the Sharks, the team I hate, even if it was with the Sharks, I'd be like, damn it, that's a pure Norris Trophy winner name. I would do that for sure. How much is Galley making per year? It is $6.5 million per year. $6.5 million. Gallagher is going to be 35 when the contract ends. Nicholas Lemmy. He is, I believe, going to be 29 when the contract starts, unless he ends up being 30 when it starts. Then he'll be 36 when it ends, depending on when his birthday is. Hey, McDry, I got a Kyler Yamamoto shirt yesterday, so I hung it beside my Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent Hopkins, just like the second line. That's awesome. How much is Gallagher getting but the end of the contract? Hey, Lazowski, I just said it. I just said it. It's $6.5 million. It seems to be consistent. There's nothing where actually I think it's illegal now where you inflate the start of the contract and then slowly have the salary go down. I think that's actually illegal to do in the NHL now. It's against the rules. So it's pure 6.5 throughout the contract. But of course, with bonuses, it might go up, might go down. I'm not 100% sure. Armia is a fourth-line player on a cup roster, same for Lehkonen. Funny enough, I actually do have Lehkonen currently playing the fourth-line role. I personally see Lehkonen. I can actually, funny enough, I see Byron starting on the roster. I personally do see Evans being in the minors, as much as that hurts to say because I really, really like Jake Evans. It really depends, honestly. So what I have personally for the starting lineups next year is Tatar to Nogally, which doesn't change. Drouin, Suzuki, Anderson, which I think is interesting. You have Anderson as kind of that body, that muscle for Suzuki and Drouin. No clear goal scorer there unless Anderson can score 20 goals plus and stay consistent, which I'm hoping he does, obviously, as a Habs fan. Then you got Toffoli, Kotkaniemi, Armia. Armia, arguably the goal scorer in that line. I would probably say it is Toffoli, but Armia could potentially be the goal scorer, Kotkaniemi the setup man, and Toffoli the kind of rough him, tough him guy. And then Lehkonen, Poehling, Byron. If Poehling can turn into a goal scorer, Lehkonen's kind of the setup man. Or you could argue kind of the rough and tough guy, and then Byron is the speedy, holy shit, how is he that fast type of guy, you know? Hey, all right. All right, Nicholas Lemmy. You know what? You can fuck off then. If you're gonna think that you don't need to be here then. I just saw that comment now. Mods, McDry, you were in the chat. You got to get on that faster, man. You got to get on that a little bit faster. Notice Nicholas Lemmy puts that comment, probably leaves, and then Habs Absolutely Hockey comes back. Just notice that. No, that's nah. I'm good. No, I'm just joking around. I predicted Galley would get 6 years, 40.5. 6 years. Yeah, you were damn close, actually. Wow. That was actually pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive, goalie girls rule. Let's go. Toffoli and Galley. Oh, yeah, that's going to be dangerous. Like, I honestly think we could put them on a power play unit together. Or maybe a PK unit together. Something where they're playing together, you know? I would really like that. That'd be nuts. Anderson's deal goes down over the term. Oh, does it? No, it doesn't. It's listed as a 5.5 throughout the entire contract. That's what I'm seeing here. Also, you guys, you gotta love, guys. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Bergevin. Why did Bergevin sign this long ass contract?" Apparently, Columbus offered the same thing to Josh Anderson. Anderson only wanted a 2-year contract, and he said the Habs believed in him and reoffered him, or apparently they reoffered him the 7-year contract. So. Take it, Bergevin haters. Fuck right off. What do you think of Joel Armia this year? Trying to know about one of my favorite Hey, Lazowski. I'm glad you're a Jets fan, man. Even though you're a Leafs fan, you like the Jets. Nice. Galley did resign. I talked about that throughout a majority of the stream. I really like Joel Armia. I think that was a fantastic pickup in the Steve Simon trade, in which we traded back. I think it was Steve Bork or. Right? Who was it? It was Simon Bork or Simon Bork. It was Simon Bork. I really, really like that deal for us. Armia he's started to show himself and to be like a really, really consistent player. He had a career high of 30 points this year, which is only 1 point higher than his last season in Winnipeg, which if we had played the full 82 game season and he was healthy, he would have hit 40, 45, maybe 50 points. I'm a really big fan of Joel Armia. He had 5 points in 10 playoff games this last year. Like I said, I'm a really, really big fan of Joel Armia, and I like him. Same here, Salty. Gallagher is sometimes really underrated. Jesus. He's incredibly underrated sometimes. I love Galley. There's a reason when this setup was kind of the one I had back 2 houses ago. If any of you guys remember that, that's why I had the Galley poster right here. I absolutely love Brendan Gallagher. Easily one of my favorite players on the Canadiens. He is. Yeah, it's a really solid contract. Salty Wings and Hughes fan. I agree. That's absolutely a really, really good contract. Yeah, the Galley poster, McDry. Yeah. Sherratt and Weber. Yeah, that's a nasty line right there. Sherratt and Weber. As much as I didn't like Sherratt, I've been starting to look more and more at some of his footage. I'm really, really liking Sherratt now. I'm really starting to come around on Sherratt. But Sherratt, Weber, Romanov, Petrie, I like that goalie girls rule. I think the only thing I would really change, like big time, is just switch Edmondson and Romanoff. You switch Edmondson and Romanoff. Have Edmondson, Petrie, Romanoff, Mete. I understand that means your third pairing is kind of a little small. But what they could end up doing maybe is Sherratt, Weber, Mete, Petrie, Edmondson, Romanoff, because Romanoff can play both sides. So I think maybe you put Petrie with Mete. Petrie can kind of protect Mete while also being a pretty inconsistent but decent defensive defenseman, while also obviously being more of an offensive defenseman. You put Edmondson with Romanoff. You give Romanoff a nice defensive partner, even though Edmondson is getting paid money to be a second-line left defenseman. I do think they could instead maybe rather have one defensive pairing and a 2A, 2B type of second defensive pairing. So instead of having a third, you're pretty much just having two seconds. How much is the contract? Massimo Sinelli. You related to Anthony by any chance? No, but it is a $6.5 million for the next 6 years. So, or the 6 years after his current deal expires, which is 3.25, I believe, right? 3.75, and then for 6 years after that, it is a $6.5 million contract for Brendan Gallagher. Yeah, Kulak Juleson, I definitely would like, but if you were allowed 4 defensive pairings, I would like that, but you're likely not getting that. 2 of those guys are likely sent down. Juleson probably doesn't even make the roster. Oh my god, I'm really sorry about that. Swatch, we heard it here, folks. Is now Swatch on Switch. Harry's on the OVOs. I still need to get some OVOs, and for Rick Nelson, I still need to eat some damn things on stream. The things, the chips. What are they called? McDry, you were here. I think you found that. Or I think you remember, what are they? Fritos. I still have to eat some Fritos on stream for Rick. I say Armia stays perhaps. Yeah, Lazowski, I think so as well. I hope Takis. I've heard a lot about Takis as well. I would love for Armia to stay long term as well. I think that'd be really awesome to have Armia staying long term with the Habs. I think we carry more D. We could, but that's the thing, is they'd have to be healthy scratches. And personally, I would rather play Juleson and say Kulak, or Juleson and Mete, whoever we decide to play. I'd rather play them in the minors than have them just be healthy scratches in the NHL. Personally, what's the deal with Danault? From what I've heard, there's not really much going on with Danault. I don't know if they've started contract negotiations or what, but as of right now, it seems Danault is just being Danault for now. I never said I was going to do a rap stream, McDry. I never said I was going to do a rap stream. I never said that. Danault gets 5 years, 5.5. Goalie girls, that'd be awesome. I would really like Danault at 5.5. Maybe 3-4 years. I don't know if I'd really want to go 5 years, because at that point you're just kind of really just like forcing Cookie and I'm like, no, you're being the third line center. You're being the third line center. You know? Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, I need some water. Armia will get 3 years, 3.5 per. That's pretty fair. I like that for Armia. Excuse me. There we go. Danault is a very good center. Exactly, Lazowski. He is a really good center, but I feel like you're going to have Suzuki and Kotkaniemi to cover what Danault is. Not necessarily the defensive aspect, but more so the points wise and being offensively there. I do like Suzuki and Kotkaniemi, especially Suzuki. I think Suzuki is going to be an all-star, not necessarily superstar, but he is going to be the face of the Canadiens in 3 to 4 years, I think. Watch Habers. Watch the Habers. Watch Sabres sign Hoffman and let go of one of their players. Where will Hoffman go? I see Boston. I can see Boston maybe. It depends on their cap space, because they also do have to bring back Zdeno Chara. But personally, you know what? I think as a consolation prize, I think Colorado goes after Hoffman. They didn't get Hall. I personally think that Colorado could go after Hoffman. I see Columbus. Funny enough, I'm actually friends with someone. They don't want Hoffman. They want Dadonov. They're a Columbus fan. They actually, funny enough, they said that they want Dadonov instead of Hoffman. When is hockey starting again? Sorry, Rich J. Hockey is starting up. Likely January 1st is apparently the start date. They originally wanted it for December 1st. They realized it's probably not going to be likely for December 1st. So they just pushed it back to January just to see how everything goes. So we technically are going to get hockey in the Christmas season. It's just likely that it's going to be preseason games or just training camp. In 5 years, he'll be a Norris winner. He's a Nicholas Lidstrom, so smart, great hands skating. He'll be the next moto player you'll write about and talk about. Haglund covered. You'll talk about Haglund covered the Haglund, who covered the moto for 30 years. Damn, Boomerang. That is amazing. That's amazing praise for Norlander, and how we got him in the third round. I have no clue, honestly. Just got Shell boys timed. Hey, let's go, Salty Wings and Hughes fan. Let's go. Time for you to be incredibly disappointed with the roster. Yay. By the way, guys, if I can get a PS4 controller, I might have a surprise on the channel in the next 2 weeks. Carbo is an excellent exactly, goalie girls. Guy Carbonell was a great third-line center, but keep in mind, he also played the rough and tough type of role, I believe, if I remember correctly. I might be confusing him with someone else, but Carbonell seemed like he was a really solid third-line center for the Canadiens in most part. I don't know if Danault plays the same role, though, because keep in mind, there's cap space. You have to worry about cap space for when your young guys come up, like when your Caulfield expires, when Caulfield expires, when Romanoff expires, Norlander, Juleson, Brook, if these guys push the NHL, they're going to want big pay raises once the ELCs come up, if they can make an impact right away. So you don't want to be giving 50, 80% of your cap to, guys like Gallagher, Anderson, Drouin, Tatar, Weber, Price, Galley, all these guys when they're like 37, 38 and they're washed up, which I don't think all of them will be. Cough, cough, Gallagher. I meant that as cough, cough, Galley isn't going to be washed up, just for anyone who's confused. But personally, I do think you are going to want to clear cap. And I think if we do get rid of Tatar and Danault, I will definitely stand behind it because it means you have more cap for your younger guys when they're ready. But it depends. It all depends on what they're asking for. Will Kyler Yamamoto stay with the Oilers long term? What do you think his future is with them? I feel like Yamamoto could stay with the Oilers, but I feel like it could be a McDavid situation. If they don't start winning within the next 2 to 3 years, if they don't start really showing signs of promise, I think they're both going to request trades, honestly. I do think they could both request trades. Oh, my God, my throat really hurts. I'm going to have to get off stream in a few minutes, boys. I have Edmonton, but they need to trade, in my opinion. Exactly, Lazowski. They need to trade James Neal, first of all. Trade James Neal to, the Red Wings or the Oilers or something. You never know. Leafs Forever. Big news. Exactly, Leafs Forever. Big news. You met Lidstrom. Hey, Salty Wings and Hughes fan. That's awesome. What about Gainey? I never saw Bob Gainey. I was never a big fan of watching old Habs footage. I saw one game. It was a game against the Flyers, the 76 Cup Finals. It was Game 4 where they swept the Flyers. That's the only one I've seen. Really liked that game, so I might have to go back and watch some old 70s, 80s Habs footage. You think Montreal will do anything else this offseason? Personally, I could see them maybe trading Byron or not Kovalchuk, Kulak, Wheel maybe, unless we sign those guys down. And I see us resigning Kovalchuk on a 1 year, maybe 2 year deal. But I see us resigning Kovalchuk to end out his career where he should have been the whole time in Montreal. I just know he gets a Selke. Oh, yeah, Bob Gainey got I think he had the most amount of Selkies out of anyone. I think he had 5, if I remember correctly. I think. Darkness, welcome to the stream, man. God, yeah, I'm going to have to get off into Jesus, yeah, I'm going to start doing my outro in 5 minutes. I want to hit the hour mark, but I don't want to force myself. I don't want to really ruin my voice for the next 3 days. And then if something massive happens with the Habs, it's shit, I can't go live because my voice is destroyed. Exactly, goalie's girl. It looks like Mark Bergevin is second line left wing. Maybe you bump Kolkina up first line left. We need a veteran fourth line center to win faceoffs. Nate Thompson was good for that. I don't necessarily know if you need a veteran fourth line center. We don't need a veteran fourth line center. Play your young guys in the bottom 6 a little bit. Oh, we lagging a bit. Just refresh. Least forever. Do you think Danault will be a Hab next season? If we're talking about this upcoming season, yeah, definitely. But as for next season, it's definitely tricky to say. It's definitely really tricky to say. I don't really know, but maybe for what do you mean, Elizowski? Dano, we need okay. What do you think when do you think the Pietrangelo signing will bite Vegas in the ass? For me personally, I think fourth year because I believe he's 30. I think he's 30 now. He'll be 34 in 4 years because that's how years work. I think that's when it's really going to start biting him. I think that's when Petro's going to start slowing down. A lot of the current core are going to be maybe retiring. So, yeah, they'll have a bit of cap space open. But if they can start trading some of their current core, guys that they've traded like Stasny, start trading Pacioretty while keeping guys like Mark Stone, if they can trade those guys and get younger, but by the time Pietrangelo is 34 and he's still making $8.5 million, I think is what he's making now, that's going to be bad. That's going to no, I think it's 9.5 actually. That's going to be incredibly bad for Vegas Golden Knights who want to get paid, in my opinion. Hey, see ya, Habs hockey. McDry, gonna go have a shower, then grind on some Shell 20. See ya, man. See ya, McDry. Funny enough, guys, I was actually planning on doing an NHL 20 franchise mode. I never got around to it. Maybe the next game. Whenever I get that. Whenever. Hope you enjoy. Hey, thank you, Habs. I'm sure I will, man. Just responding. Oh, yeah. I mean, Kovalchuk to Montreal. I would love Kovalchuk to Montreal. I don't know if he can play center, though. I think he's more of a right wing, left wing type of guy. Sorry, I was just cooling my throat. But yeah, I saw you had Montreal. God, no, don't bring back. Nah, not goalie girls. He doesn't need to. He was playing third line minutes with Montreal, and he was being effective. He was being really effective. Plus, looking at the top six, you can be Flyers. I'd love to be the Flyers. No, but seriously, like as much as I would like it, I honestly think, personally, I'm not saying you put Kovalchuk on the fourth line. I think third line could work well for him. Maybe you bump down Armia, scratch Byron, or what I think you could do, not scratch Drouin, but move Drouin down, Kovalchuk on the second line left wing. Put Kovalchuk, Suzuki, and Anderson together. You get the veteran presence in Kovalchuk who can still score, Suzuki who's a passer, Anderson who can also score goals but is also a nice big hitter. That line would be fantastic together, in my opinion. I think it would anyways. But then you move Duran down to the fourth line, which is at that point you realize, yeah, we got to trade this guy for whatever we can get. Please, Montreal. Franchise mode looks better finally. Oh, does it? The only thing I've seen is the really cool looking trade deadline game, which looks really annoying when you're trying to just plan out before you go into the whole trade thing. Like, okay, I'll trade for this guy. I'll trade for this guy. I'll see what I can do for this guy. Whereas now it's just like, holy shit, make as many trades as you can. We're starting with 1990s. Hey, that sounds dope, actually. Depending on what year, I'd love to be the Flyers for sure. Oh, yeah, there we go. My voice is starting to get a little better. Knock on wood. Yeah, Toffoli. I don't know about Toffoli, Kotkaniemi, and Anderson. I know it suggested it, but then you have two kind of big bodies. Then you kind of have two big bodies on the line with Kotkaniemi. I feel like you need sort of a goal scorer, playmaker, and power forward, even though Anderson, like I said, in his own right can score goals. I feel like it's risky. You could maybe do that as like a power play line, maybe, or a 4-on-4 type of line. Move maybe Toffoli or Anderson down to the defense, one of the two. But yeah, defense. Real quick, I'm going to go over this because I've been meaning to. Goaltending, we're going to get out of the way. It's Price and Allen for this year. I just want to get that out of the way. Not wasting time, not building suspense. Price and Allen, it's confirmed. That's going to be your goaltending for Montreal for this year. Now, defensive, okay. Or my keyboard can decide to fly all over the place. Kraken's next year. The Protect It list. I am actually going to make a video on that Boomerang, but real quick, Price is. I'm just going off real quick. Price is going to be protected for the Canadiens. Defense, that's going to be Weber, Petrie, Edmondson. I think you can only protect 3, so it's probably actually going to be Weber, Petrie, Sherrod, I would think, unless you protect Weber and leave. Or unless you protect Mete, leave either Petrie or Sherrod. I'll have to find out exactly when. Actually, yeah, it has the birthdays right here. So yeah, real quick, Dano is February 24th, and Tatar is December 1st. So they're 2 months apart. So technically, it's technically a year from the birthdays. But yeah, basically, yeah, exactly. Price, Weber, Gallagher, and Suzuki are definitely safe. Like I said, I'm gonna have to make a video on that because I gotta find out, like, okay, what exactly are the protection rules so I know to go through them. Dino's birthdays, hey, that's pretty awesome. I watched Jordan in Halifax. He'll be fine in breakout now. He needs to be third or fourth scoring option to really be able to play his game. Durant should never be the main guy. I agree. Durant should never be the main guy of any team. I mean, who knows? Maybe if he's playing second line minutes with Montreal, he'll do great with Suzuki. Or who knows? Maybe if we end up moving to Foley up to the second line, Durant on the third or fourth, he'll end up playing really, really damn well and end up being a 50, 60-point scorer somehow on the third line. You never know. Never know. Next video, I don't know if it's going to be the next video because I have like 2 or 3 videos I have to start working on. Plus, I have to start working on 25 Days of Harry, so there's definitely going to be that I need to work on. But yeah, I can definitely work on that in a future video for sure. I mean, that video wouldn't be too hard to make, definitely, but I definitely want to look into it. I want to look into making that video for sure. But yeah, so defense real quick, it should realistically be Sherratt Weber on the first pairing, I would think, is how it is going to be. Second pairing is where you start to get a little dicey. I mean, I personally would think you're going to want to put Edmondson with Petrie. And then the third pairing, who do you put? Do you bring up Kulak or do you keep Kulak on the roster and use Romanov and send Mete down? Do you send Kulak down, use Romanov and Mete? Personally, I think what we're going to do is I think Romanov and Kulak, or Romanov and Kulak. Yeah, Romanov and Kulak. Well, Kulak and Romanov. I think that's what we're going to do. Oh my God, Jesus, my throat is hurting. First and second year players are exempt. Oh, teams can choose to, thank you, Habs. Teams can choose to protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goalie, or 8 skaters and 1 goalie. All players with no movement clauses must be protected. First and second year players are exempt. Seattle must select at least 14. Okay, 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, 3 goalies. So yeah, I can maybe do what John from Hot Take Hockey did and do a whole Seattle like, oh, this is who's going to be protected. This is who's not going to be protected. Oh, this is who Seattle will select. I could do something like that probably. Exactly, goalie girls. But that's the thing. We signed Allen, but that's the thing. We're not going to be rushing Primo. In my opinion, I think the clear choice no matter what is Seattle likely takes Allen. I do think the likely choice is Seattle takes Jake Allen. That's probably the main reason we signed them, is to, in turn, stop them from taking one of our good forwards or one of our good defensemen. Like, for example, we trade Seattle, say, a third-round pick, and instead of picking, say Brent Kulak or Mete or something, like, hey, you guys pick Jake Allen, we'll give you a third-round pick, something like that. I do think – and besides, I don't think we're going to be rushing Primo if he plays next year. If he plays backup, if Allen gets taken, I feel like it's more so one of those situations where it's more so just, hey, Primo, you think you're ready? Let's give you the backup job. Let's see how you do. It's not even really that we're rushing Primo, not Jake Allen. No, you're trading a third-round pick for them to take Jake Allen over someone. Yeah, they're not going to take Hopi over Allen, but that's the thing. Allen isn't a starter. Allen's a backup. Jake Allen is an NHL backup. Yeah, sure, they can go for Braden Hopi from Vancouver as well, but that's the thing. Allen is getting paid so little money, just under $3 million, that if you trade Jake Allen to Seattle as, say, draft consideration, say you technically trade him to Jake Allen, say you technically trade Jake Allen to Seattle, you trade, hey, Seattle, we'll give you some type of pick. If you guys want a third, we'll give you guys a pick. Yeah, we'll give you guys like a third-round pick and maybe this decent AHL prospect that could maybe be something. If you guys don't take Ben Sherratt or Joel Edmondson or something, and instead you guys take Jake Allen, he's a good backup. But even then, I don't know if we'd have to do that because I think Seattle would want to take Jake Allen. I wouldn't say them take Allen. They probably get others with longer term. They should get Holby. I don't know, at least forever. I mean, I think they could take Allen still because he has 2 years on his contract. It's a $2.8 million. He'll be 31 and 32. 31, 32? Yeah, his birthday just passed. So he'll be 31 and 32 during his contract. So, yeah. Do they only take one player? Yeah, Habs. They only take one player per team. That's the same as Vegas, except Vegas is exempt. So teams are definitely going to – so Vegas is definitely going to want to clear some cap this year because they're going to be foaming at the mouth. Like, hey, you guys don't want to lose that player. Give them to us, I wouldn't see them take – oh, I already read that. But, yeah, guys, so why is Vegas not allowed to be in Seattle? Well, they're allowed to be in Seattle. They just can't take part in the expansion draft because they're the newest NHL team. And, yeah, They made that rule. I think they made that rule when Vegas was brand new because they didn't expect Vegas to be really that great. So they were like, all right, when we introduce Seattle, Vegas is going to be exempt. We'll give them an easy time. They're going to be a bad team for a few years. Then Vegas went to the Stanley Cup final, and the NHL was like, fuck, what do we do now? And they just kept the rule the same. I don't mind it really. I'm just kind of like, meh, whatever. Like, who the hell would they take? Fucking Ryan Weaves. Let's go. We've officially crossed the 1 hour mark, guys, and that is the point where my voice is starting to die. Exactly. 600 million gets you a good roster, and it should. When Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Florida, Anaheim, San Jose, Columbus, all the other expansion teams, I probably only forgot like one or two. When these teams were introduced, they gave $250 something like that million dollars to the NHL for their expansion teams, and they got next to nothing. Florida was the only team that got anywhere near a Stanley Cup, and it was because 3 years down the line, John Van Beesbrook decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to bring us to the Stanley Cup final, where they then promptly got swept by the Colorado Avalanche, the Quebec Nordiques. They have all these really solid forwards. Yeah, sure, but that's the thing. Keep in mind, Vegas traded for those forwards. And yeah, sure, it doesn't mean, they should be exempt just because of that. By that rule, everyone should be. But no, it's because they're the newest expansion team. I don't know if this was the case, but you didn't see every time there's a new expansion, the last expansion team was included. If that is the case, it's because they were piss poor and there's nothing to pick for them anyway. So it's like, fuck it, what's the worst they can do? But with Vegas, if anything, they should want to protect Vegas even a little bit, even if this is just the slightest they're doing. They'd want to protect Vegas a little bit because if you can turn Vegas and Seattle into hockey markets, that's great. You don't want to have Seattle at the bottom of the league for the first 10 years they're playing. You want them to be good right away so people in Seattle go, we got an NHL team and they're doing pretty good. Let's watch them. Let's see how they're doing, And then they get into hockey. You want to have every market doing good. You want every team to literally go into like 8 overtimes in the regular season if you could do that. NHL would want every game to go into 8 overtimes, super intense. And it's like at the end of the year, it's like, holy shit, yeah, last place in the East only missed out by like 5 points. You'd want something like that. The NHL would want something like that. They would want every market in the NHL to be great. And I'm sure they would. And that's the thing with Seattle and Vegas. Vegas got a great expansion team. We didn't even know it at the time, but they did. They got a great expansion team. Seattle is going to get a great expansion team because when you're paying $600 million for an NHL team, you realistically should get a good roster. You should get a fantastic roster. I'm not saying you should get a cup right away, but you should get a pretty solid roster, enough to at least make the playoffs. Because realistically, playoffs is when new fans in that area go, oh shit, our team's in the playoffs. Which sport? Hockey. Let's watch them. I'm going to support my home team. They're like that. Fuck no, you don't get a cup. No, you don't get a cup. I'm not saying that, Rick Roller. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you get a good team if you spend $600 million to get a team in an expansion draft. Because keep in mind, Seattle could go out, say, get some solid players that are underpaid, arguably, from their team, go out in free agency, and Vegas could have done this. They could have gone out and get pretty much every guy from every NHL team in the expansion draft that's like, all right, this guy's only getting paid $1 million, this guy's only getting paid $2 million, this guy for this service is only getting paid $4 million, and stay under the cap floor in free agency, go out and do fantastic, bring in all the big free agents. People wouldn't have said anything. People wouldn't have said anything because, it's fair. They were under the cap floor. They signed free agents to get there. People would be bitching, actually, now that I think about it. People would be bitching, but it's fair. It's fair. You pay $600 million to the NHL to get a team, you should get a good team. You should realistically get a really good team. Like I said, not enough to incredibly like, oh, yeah, fair. Yeah, it's not fair. They are cup champions by a mile. But it should be enough to like, hey, cool, they're in the playoffs. Let's watch. That's why Vegas is good, because they drafted incredibly well. They expansion drafted pretty well as well. They traded phenomenally, getting Mark Stone and Match Pacioretty, well, yes, giving up Tomas Tatar and Nick Suzuki and a pick that eventually turned into another pick that turned into Matthias Norlinder, but that's the point. You get those pieces. You can get like a Mark Stone. You got Paul Stastny in free agency, Max Pacioretty. William Karlsson you drafted because Florida was stupid. They didn't want them. They didn't want Vegas picking. I forget who it was. Realistically, they should have gone with. Jaromir Jagr because it's Jaromir Jagr. Who wouldn't want Jaromir Jagr? But with Vegas, that's the thing. They were traded a pick to get William Karlsson. It's not Seattle's fault if come expansion draft time, teams are looking, or after the expansion draft, teams are looking incredibly fucking stupid because we didn't want to lose this guy. Let's trade him a first round pick for them to take this bad contract. Instead, take this guy who we incredibly underrate is going to go excel over in Seattle. It's not rocket science. You let go of this guy. Okay, it sucks, but at least we keep everyone else. Unless you're Buffalo, which in that case, you're going to give Seattle Taylor Hall in order for them to take Victor Olofsson, because that's how Buffalo works. They don't have good things. Now that I think about it, with the frozen cap, good players will be available. Yeah, good players are going to be available, and that's the thing. Seattle isn't going to pack an amazing team. Because think about it. It's not like Seattle for the first year. For the first year, Seattle's going to have no cap space. They can sign anyone they want, Matter of fact, we're just going to gift them everyone that's going free agency this year. No, that's stupid. They're not going to do that. The NHL isn't brainless idiots. What is going to happen, teams are going to massively overpay Seattle to take certain players from them. Seattle's going to have a good team. And then 3 years from now, we're going to gawk like a bunch of idiots. How did Seattle get so good? Because teams overpaid the shit out of them to gave first, second rounders for them to take heavily underrated players that are going to go and excel in Seattle. It's not rocket science, like I said. And now with that out of the way, I should probably clip that and make that a video sometime. Maybe Toronto should get an expansion team. Nah, give Montreal an expansion. Give Quebec an expansion team, for God's sake. Whew, oh my God. All right, guys. Now that I'm done kind of ranting on people thinking Vegas is oh my God, I'm sorry. Now that I'm done ranting about people being kind of stupid, thinking, the expansion draft is rigged and all that, Mark Bergevin's going to be the smartest guy. Exactly. He's going to set us up well, and he's going to be well prepared for it. That's why we're not playing Primo firstly this year. That's probably why we went out to get Jake Allen, because we're not paying Jake Primo. We went out and got Jake Allen so we don't have to play Caden Primo this year. And then, oh shit, we're about to lose Caden Primo, who's our future starter in the expansion draft. Give them a first rounder to not take him. No, that's not going to happen. Instead, it's like, all right, well, that sucks. Jake Allen played good for us, but you know what? Go look in Seattle, Jake. I hope you'll enjoy it. We'll have Caden Primo next year. Yeah, it'll suck losing Jake Allen if that is who Seattle takes, but I understand, and people are going to be stupid and say, Mark Bergevin should have given up a first-round pick to protect Allen, keep Primo in the minors or something. But that's not going to be the case. Primo is going to be great in the NHL, in my opinion. I think so. Alex Aliev, let's go Gally. Showed up an hour and 8 minutes into the stream, and my voice is killing me. I'm sorry that you had to hear my voice like this. Quebec will get the Coyotes and suck for years and years. I don't know about that. They'll actually be able to spend money because they'll be in a good hockey market. So I don't know if they'll suck for years. Maybe the first 2 years. But after that, they'll be pretty solid as the Quebec Nordiques. It's all good. Yeah, exactly, Alex. It's the grind, man. An hour and now hour 9 minutes in. It's the grind. If you guys are enjoying the content, hit that like button. I'm actually about to get out of here, unfortunately. Alex, I'm sorry. You showed up kind of right at the end. I meant to end it 20 minutes ago. But I have the replay. I talk about the Galley contract. I've just been kind of shooting the shit with everybody for the last 40 or so minutes, 30, 40 minutes. I need to go get something to drink. I drank all my water that was here. I'm actually going to throw it out. I'm not recycling. Fuck that. My garbage is right here. Why didn't I? Yeah, exactly. Houston's going to get a team before Quebec. It's already being speculated, which team's going to move to Houston. It's kind of the worst-kept secret in the NHL that people are kind of forgetting about because pandemic. But yeah, guys, I'm going to be getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Favorite channel, the is not limited to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and everything else. My name is Harry. Subscribe to the Puff Club. Subscribe to the Hasty Club. Subscribe, join the Puff Club. If you're a member of the Mod Squad, like my good boys, McDry, Hot Take Hockey, DDT Regulator, Isles Girl 3, Rick Nelson, Rich J, anyone else who showed up early in the stream. I forget exactly who, my apologies, but if you showed up and you're a mod, you are incredibly awesome. Anyone who shows up at all is incredibly awesome. Thank you guys for coming out to the stream. Talk to you later, Goalie Girls rule. Thank you guys so much for coming out to the stream. Links in the description are my PayPal, my Amazon wishlist, and my PO box. If you guys want to send me anything, if you guys want to send anything my way, it's greatly appreciated. You will get your name and the donation on the big ass dono board of donos, not copyrighted yet, pending it, of course. You guys can get your name on there. If you guys send anything my way via the Amazon wish list or the P.O. box, you will get a video of me unboxing whatever it is. It is greatly appreciated. Not always asked for, but like I said, appreciated. I have my what's it called? My speedrunning account in the description below. I've been meaning to get a new wire for my PS3. For some reason, it's starting to bug out, but I think I have another one around here somewhere. I've been meaning to start doing more speedrun videos. I just haven't been able to get back into the groove. After I get a capture card, though, I will start doing some more Xbox 360 and PS3 videos if it's compatible with that and if it even works. So yeah, I will be starting to look into that. Letterbox or my speedrun account, you can look in there. I am, I think, still currently #1 on UFC Undisputed 2010. I'm not 100% sure yet. My Amazon, or sorry, my Twitter, my Twitch. My Twitter I use very rarely, not too much. My Twitch I don't use at all right now, actually, because I'm currently. I hate Twitch. I don't like it at all. But once I start getting better Wi-Fi, I will definitely look into using my Twitch a little more. NES Blades of Glory. I'm definitely going to look into NES Blades of Glory, or Blades of Steel, not Blades of Glory. Blades of Steel, I will look into that for sure. If it's an easy game to speedrun or just a fun game in general, I will definitely look into it. What else do I have in the description? Goodies in the links. I forget. I have my Discord. I got my Discord. I finally remembered to plug it. You guys can join the Discord. Link in the description. It is greatly appreciated. We talk on there somewhat. It's a little dead. Once we get more members, definitely it's going to be really fun. It's already pretty fun for me, in my opinion. I got a Discord server. It's fun. And finally, guys, of course, the letterbox is also in the description. It's where I rate and review movies. Very rarely I'll actually review them. Most of the time I just rate them. You guys can go check it out over there if you want to know movies I love. And let's rather check out the video I made for Christmas Day last year, which may or may not be my top 100 movies of all time of 2019. Or you can check it out if you want to, or at the end of the year, I will have a video at the end of 25 days of Harry at SNES Stanley Cup. I will look into that for sure, Goalie Girls. Check it out. I will be making a video at the end of the year for 25 Days of Harry, which may or may not be my top 100 movies of all time of 2020. You can also check it out if you want to know what movies I hate. I might do a video on that in the future. I'm not entirely sure yet. I've been saying that for the past year. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I love you all so much. This is your second reminder that I love you all. Thank you for the likes, the comments, whatever you guys want to do. It's greatly appreciated. My name is Harry Rice, and I am out. Peace.